Start with lecture 4 and lecture 4 phonetics and phonology, of course, and I just would like to start with point number 1. So the least radical degree of constriction occurs when the articulators come fairly close together but not sufficiently close together to create friction. This kind of stricture is called open approximation. If you remember, in the previous lectures we talked about manner of articulation, and we said that we have stop sounds such as the ta, da, ka and ga, and the ing as well, and then we said that we have fricative sounds such as the sa, za, tha, the, sha and ja as well. And now we are going to talk about sounds that are called approximants. And approximant sounds are indeed 4. They are 4 sounds. We have 4 approximants. These are the first sound in yes. The first approximant is ya. Of course, if the ja, as you can see, if it is written between 2 slashes, this means it is not ja, it is a sound which is ya, like the first sound in a word like yes. So the first approximant is ya. The second approximant is the first sound in rip, which is ra. The R is alveolar, because if you pronounce the R you will say ra, and as such the tip of the tongue is pressed against the alveolar ridge. The R is alveolar approximant. The third sound is the first sound in wet. The wa is considered approximant as well, and it is indeed labio-velar approximant. So the wa is considered labio-velar approximant, and the fourth approximant is the first sound in left, which is the L. So, and the L, excuse me, it is alveolar lateral approximant. Alveolar lateral approximant. So we have the ya, we have the wa, we have the ra, and we have the la. But just to add a new information to you, the wa and the ya are called in some books and other articles glides, but the r and the la are considered liquids, and the glides and the liquids are voiced sounds. So we can call them approximants, or we can divide them into 2 parts, glides and liquids. We have 4 approximants. 2 of them are glides, ya, wa, and 2 of them are liquids. They are the L and the R. Important notes. All approximants are voiced sounds. So no need to say voiced or voiceless, because by default they are all voiced sounds. So if I want, for example, to compare between the wa and the ya, no need to say that the ya is voiced, because the wa is also voiced. So voicelessness doesn't create a difference between the two. We will talk about other things. There are places of articulation, for example, and so on and so forth. So no need to talk about voicelessness once you talk about approximants, because all of them are voiced sounds, like the vowels that I will cover in the next lectures. All of the vowels are voiced sounds. So once we compare between 2 vowels, we do not need to say that the I is voiced or the E is voiced, because all of the vowels are known to be voiced sounds. Affricates. Sometimes in English we have a sound which has 2 sounds, but both of them are considered 1 sound. The first sound is called affricate. We have 2 affricates in English. The first is called cha, and the second is called ja. If, for example, we have distinguished 3 classes of consonant according to degree of construction. We talked about stops, fricatives, and approximants. Now, consider the first sound in chip. It is not, let me say one sound, which is the sha, and it is not ta. It is both cha. It is cha. So the ta being followed by the sha makes one sound which is called affricate, and it is cha. Now I will show you how it is written. So the first sound in chip is considered an affricate in English language because it has 2 sounds, the ta and the sha. Notice that the ta is stop sound while the sha is fricative. So the sound starts being stop, then it ends up being fricative. But the 2 sounds becomes one sound, and it is an affricate. It is like a stop in that there is complete closure between the blade of the tongue and the palato-alveolar. He means the ta. It starts with the ta region. However, it is like affricative in that it clearly involves friction. Yani, in other words, he wants to say that the cha is a stop because it has a stop sound, which is the ta. But later, it becomes fricative because it has the fricative sound, which is the sha. And as such, it is not a stop, it is not a fricative, it is both stop and fricative. Instead of saying this, we say affricate to mean a sound that is consisted of 2 sounds, stop plus fricative. That friction occurs during the release phase of the closure, like ta stop, shh. It stops, ta, then it releases the air to go out. So once you say sha, then the sound becomes fricative. Sounds produced with a constriction of complete closure, like ta or da, followed by a release phase like sha or ja, in which friction occurs, are called affricates. And these are 2, cha or ja. The first sound I wrote in the slide, it is ja, like the word judge. And the second is cha, like the word church. So we have 2 affricates in English, cha or ja. Okay? The affricate in chip, transcribed as cha, is a voiceless palato-alveolar affricate, and the first sound in joy, notice I don't say joy, I say joy, transcribed as ja, is voiced palato-alveolar affricate. You have to know the place of articulation, alveopalatal or palato-alveolar. You have to know that these are affricate because in the exam, as I told you in the direct lectures, you will have questions of this type. One of the following sounds is affricate. A, ka. B, for example, ga. C, the. D, cha. Then the answer will be D, for example. So you have to know that you are going to have questions in the final of this type. I might ask you about places of articulation. I might say, for example, the T, one of the following sounds is, for example, alveolar. Sha, ka, ga, and ta. The answer is ta. I might ask you, one of the following sounds is voiceless. Da, ga, the, and ta. Then the answer will be ta. So these questions are expected in the exam. So please give attention to know the manner of articulation, places of articulation, and the voicelessness with regard to every sound in English. The affricate, okay. By saying so, I would like to say that this is the most important point with regard to this lecture. I just want to repeat that we have other sounds that are called affricates, and affricates are 4. In some books, they are classified to be glides or liquids. Glides the wa and the ya. Liquids are the la and the r. If you have a look at point number 2, once you say the ja between two slashes, it is not ja, it is ya, according to the IPA system, International Phonetic System. This is the system that you have to follow. I would like to thank you students.